All this basically is a discussion on both points and counterpoints to it. So we have some good representatives from the industry that volunteer their time. We have some fan subbers that volunteer their time as well. So we have about 2 hours. The idea of panel 2 is like a town hall format. We're going to have a moderator who will introduce shortly. So any questions you have during, please raise your hand and ask. The whole idea is that you guys more generate the content than we do. So that's about all. I'm going to turn it over to Keith Hayes. He's going to be our moderator, so he'll be able to take it from here.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you. Sorry about the wait. We were hoping for another industry guest, but he was not able to make it, to my understanding. What I'd like to do first is ask our panelists to introduce each other. We'll start over here with industry.
Hello, my name is David Flemming. I'm a freelance translator. Been doing it for about 13 years now, mostly for animes, things, but I also do work directly for Production IG, Bandai Visual, Bandai US. I also started out as a fan subber back in 1991. Yes, I'm that old. Yep. So I guess I should actually be sitting right in the middle.
Hi, I'm Adam Sheehan. I'm the Senior Events Manager and Convention Manager for Funimation Entertainment. I've been with the company for almost 4.5 years now, and I've been dealing directly with a lot of what's been going on with the fans telling us about who's downloading, who's not downloading, who's, I'm downloading and purchasing, and a wide variety in between, as well as I've been a fan since 3 years old, when I was, someone with the TV on Astro Boy one day, and I figuring things out as I get older. As well as I've dealt with fan subbers back in the 90s or so, right around 91, but nope, hold on.
Oh yeah,
they're all there. Someone pick it up?
Now you have to do a dance in front of it.
As he's fixing that, I want to talk loudly. I've been a fan since 3, what I call been a hardcore fan since high school. Been loving the stuff and worked with in college, had an anime club with Welcome to Sophie here, who introduce next.
You're good.
And we're back. And basically worked with fan subbers there back in the old tape mail-away days. So I'm familiar with 3 tapes at a time, this paper shipping. 5 fans, 4 fans. So I'm also familiar with the way the actual thing has grown over the years.
My name is Sophie McNutt. I've worked for Funimation. This is my 6th year. So I joke that I have tenure. You can't fire me, I have tenure. I run the Anime Club program, Operation Anime, and I do a few other things that we can't say until later. And but my other job that's actually significant to this discussion is I assist with the anti-piracy team that we have.
I didn't know that.
She's one of the ones who sent out.
I've only sent out 2. Someone else has sent out more.
We got our own house.
Oh, sure. There you go. Yes, that's right.
Hi, I'm Nick Fox. I don't really do too much as far as the fan subbing stuff nowadays, but
Your credibility.
well,
But you know of it.
He's all scared about the CND now. That's what it is.
We didn't bring one with us, we're okay. We got back.
I started out doing timing and got into doing encoding for a number of years, and nowadays, after taking some Japanese for a couple of years in college, I've been dabbling in my hand at translation work too.
Okay, I'm the one who kind of organized this whole ordeal. My name is Jared. I'm not even going to pronounce my last name because it's annoying. So my handle, I guess, if you want to go find IRC names that most people might know, is 0x20, not Xerox, as a lot of people think. It is 0x20. A couple groups I've been with. Originally found Anime-Kraze. That was my group originally, and I do like 10 and 15 other groups. We won't get into that though, it's kind of boring. I primarily encode. I've pretty much done everything though, so I've been doing it 7 years, 8 years. I lost track of time since I was like freshman in high school. I don't know.
Alright, my name's Michael Niketa. It's almost about last name as his. I'm a QCR editor. I'm the one who makes sure there's no more mass naked child events, if anybody remembers those. Like one, okay! I've been doing it for about 4 years now. I really only do it for about 1 group though, for Jared here, so I'm not as widespread as these others. That's about all I do.
Just out of curiosity, how many people fan sub or have fan sub that are in the audience? I know you do, and I know you do, so raise your hands.
Rest assured,
I'm just curious what kind of mix we have. Just how many people are actually fan subbers or have fan subbed in the past. So raise your hands one more time. I missed that because we were all laughing and giggling.
Distributors count?
Sure, why not? As long as you don't distribute fan sub stuff on DVDs.
Now I'm talking old school.
That's fine. Okay. All right. I was just curious about your idea.
VHS.
Good. The black van is waiting outside for you all.
There's punch in the pop.
Don't worry, they have cookies. Okay, well, as was said earlier, the premise of this panel, this is not an us or them type of discussion. We are trying actually, having a panel like this, we're trying to decrease the polarization between the fan-subbing community and the industry as is beginning to become apparent. What we're witnessing is a group psychology phenomenon. It's called group polarization, where one group says, I believe this, and the other group says, no, I believe this. And they get farther and farther apart, and they dig in their heels and begin acting like 4-year-olds sometimes. And so the goal here is to promote a rational and calm discussion. It's making the assumption that fan-subbing is not going to vanish. It's not going to go away. We're not going to be able to shut it down. But the other premise is, the other point is that fan-subbing as it currently exists is harming the industry. And so the goal here is to open up dialogue and have some education. So what I'd like to do is turn it over to our industry panelists to talk a little bit about what's happening in the industry.
Okay, I will start. There's a lot happening in the industry concerning fan subs. More recently, in the last year than ever before, I have to say. Again, for anyone who, especially up here, probably knows, 90s, early millennium overall, when fan subbing was, fan subs were harder to acquire or less easier just to push a button and just get immediately. And harder to produce. Overall, the industry had no problem with this because it wasn't hurting. It actually was helping. And that's why also with fan subs, there is, I know some people think it's interesting, like you hate all fan subs, or you always just want to wipe off the entire planet. There is a benefit to fan subs as to what it used to be, the way they call it, and check stuff out. And the idea of that, of passionate fans putting together some good work quickly to, so you guys can see what's out there, so you can try stuff. Because last time I checked, anime gets pretty expensive after a while. And if you spend, $40 a disc or a box to get a whole bunch of stuff, and you don't like any of it, well, you're gonna feel really cheated and leave the industry. We don't want you to, go become a fan of UFC or something, instead of watching Naruto. There's fighting and everything we got to. And it's a lot more just two guys manly grabbing each other on the floor. Baki, yes, Baki. But overall, because of the file transfer systems become so prominent on how fan subs were distributed, because of that, there was an entire generation of fans who have never bought an anime DVD. And nothing against them, they're not evil people at all. They just weren't educated that they needed to, or that it was hurting when you didn't do it. They thought it was perfectly fine, like, oh, I push this button, I watch this show, everything's cool, right? Cool, no problem. So it's a lot more about education than anything else. And because when this first started happening, us in the industry were like, oh, it's just, a new way of distributing fan subs. We didn't think much of it. Until all of a sudden we're like, wow, there's companies going under because of this. And we started doing some research into this. And there's a lot of good fans, especially fans who go to conventions. A lot of fans that are really, really adamant. It's like, I watch fan subs, but then the legitimate product comes out, I buy it. And there's a lot of fan subbers out there that